Welcome to Sports Africa. My name is Ashalelu Afemi. Of course, it's another time to take you into the beautiful world of sport on the continent. And of course, today, so much to talk about on the show. We'll begin with Continental Roundup, where we'll be talking about, of course, what we have for you on the show. During the week, the Confederation of African Football released a list of 30 players for this year's award that will be taking place on December 11th. So we'll be talking about, of course, we have other things on the show. Then the talking point, that is where we'll be talking about the favorite among the 30 nominees for this award. Then we have stars in diaspora, Africans who are doing great on the continent. Then we have the big match, which is, we'll be taking you, telling you about upcoming big games on the continent this weekend, and we'll be taking you to Tanzania, where we have Simba and of course Young African. You need to know the history between these two and why they are like Real Madrid and Barcelona. So these are what we have for you on the of course, talking about the talking points. Let's quickly go on this break. We'll be back. Please stay with us. Right, welcome back. It's still Sport Africa. James Agberebi is here in the studio. James, you're welcome.
Thank you for me.
All right, so Kayode Ogundare is in the diaspora like the stars. Kayode, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Remy.
Oh, okay. James, let's get started. Of course, I know that you've seen the list of 30 players released by the Confederation of African Football, but of course, we'll be looking at the favorite. We have Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen. Then you talk about Yassine Bono of Morocco. Then talk about Riyad Mahrez, and of course, Mama Kudus. Those are four major contenders that have been talked about. But what is your reaction to that list?
Well, no surprise that the names who made the cuts. No surprise you Osimhen, the Mahrez, Mohamed Salah, the current leader, Sadio Mane, and the Moroccan goalkeeper Yassine Bono and Nesri, and a couple of guys. So, I mean, looking at everything, I think we should be hoping now that our Osimhen should win it for the first time for Nigeria since 1999. Everything points down to him, but at the end of the day, it's still voting that will count. And then politics, cannot rule out politics from it. So I think all things being equal, I want to believe that Osimhen should take this one. But I'm not ruling out surprises.
Like you say, politics.
Yes, politics. Yeah, it's politics is part of this whole setup. You cannot rule it out. You remember what happened in the past, So, and with what he was able to achieve with Napoli, he won the Scudetto since 1990. He was the top scorer. No African player has ever achieved that feat, 26 goals. He broke the record of Asamoah and George Weah. And also, he was named the best foreign athlete in Italy. So, and he was top scorer in the just completed the 2023 AFCON qualifiers. So, what more does he need to prove? But like I said, we have some guys who might give Osimhen the run for his money, especially the guys from Morocco.
Yassine Bono.
Yassine Bono
helps Sevilla to another Europa League.
Ashraf Hakimi and the rest, So that's where I have my fears for Osimhen. But hopefully, we pray that what we are expecting will come to pass.
Okay, Kayode, Nigerians are wishing that, like James said, since 1999, this could be the time of another Nigerian to win the award. It's been so long ago that the Nigerian won it. Do you think the 8th place finish for Osimhen will give him the edge over other contenders? Like you've heard us say that, of course, Yassine Bono is going to be a stiff competition, as well as Riyad Mahrez, who helped City to a title or won a treble with Man City last season. Mama Kudus, who, of course, shone like a million stars at the World Cup. But people are saying it might tilt to Osimhen this time. But do you think his 8th place finish in the 2023 Ballon d'Or will give him the edge over others?
Well, ordinarily you would think that, but then this is CAF we're talking about. You always learn to expect the unexpected from CAF. Don't forget 2013, Mikel Obi and the drama that we saw in Lagos. We've seen this over and over again. You will look at Osimhen's achievements and stars, but then when you put it side with Riyad Mahrez, you could actually make a claim for Riyad Mahrez too. He won a treble, much more than Osimhen won. And apart from that, the fact that Osimhen is on the top 10, for me, does not really signify much, because Andre Onana of Inter Milan, who is at Manchester United, was on the 30-man list of the world list, but it's missing on the CAF list. And we are still talking about the same time frame. So how do you explain that? So for me, the Moroccan goalkeeper did excellently well. Mohamed Kudus did well. Marek did excellently well. The same as Osimhen, but nothing is settled for me. Until the day when the names are read out, I will cross my fingers and expect that any of these four are my leading favorites to win it. But if you sit down and if you go to sleep and say, Osimhen has this in the bag, I do not agree with you. No, the Nigerians want this title, but so also does Algeria and Ghana. They've not also won it in a long time. The same with Morocco and what do you call it, Algeria too.
Okay, of course, I think it's going to be based on voting. So for every of these candidates, please, if you're in the category of people who are eligible to vote for Victor Osimhen, for Yassine Bono, for Riyad Mahrez, and of course for Mohamed Kudus, please go and vote. I know that CAF must have released the template or the schedule for voting for captains and coaches of national teams. I do not know whether ex-internationals have the right to vote, but please, if you are in that category, please vote for your favorite. But Nigerians are praying that it will be Osimhen. Since 1999, it's really been a long time. Okay, let's talk about a case in Ghana where Asamoah Gyan, a Ghana football legend, a 5-year legal battle with his former wife, Gifty Gyan, has now come to an end. Very messy thing where an high court in Accra has granted the prayers of Asamoah Gyan to annul the union, not even the marriage. Gifty wanted a divorce so that she could get some things, but the court said no. You were married to Gyan and you were also married to someone in London, and all our demands were not met. Kayode, I'll start with you. That story, I'm sure you've seen it. What's your reaction? I think Asamoah Gyan can now start looking for a proper wife.
I think it's unfortunate, Femi. We've seen this play out before. We see it with top African stars. We saw it with Emmanuel Boye of Ivory Coast and former Arsenal player. This particular case, we've seen it with Nia or Datilante with his former wife. He lost a lot. This is becoming very unpalatable for stars who have worked all their lives. Now, when they are supposed to sit down and enjoy the fruit of their labor, they have trouble in the home front. Of course, you cannot ask them not to get married, and nobody can tell the end from the beginning that this is what's going to happen. But I think Africans generally, we should begin to imbibe the Western way of life by asking potential spouses to sign a prenup, Femi. A prenup, once you sign it, before a marriage is contracted, it means that it is spread out what you expect to take out of the marriage in case you file for divorce or the other party files for divorce. Because if you don't do this, people will end up becoming depressed. It could lead to other fatal consequences. If all I've worked for, a woman will come and just clear it all in the name of she wants a divorce. So I think a prenup is the way out.
Okay, James, it gets to a point where couples, they cannot even reconcile their differences. But for Asamoah Gyan, as far as this is concerned, even the court said that she wasn't married to Asamoah Gyan because it's against the law of Ghana to be married to two persons at the same time. And if you saw the demand of Gifty Gyan, it was more like everything Asamoah Gyan has worked for. So I think the former player now will be even a huge sigh of relief.
Well, a huge sigh of relief, and it's so unfortunate that the whole thing got this messy. Because at the end of the day, now you're going to you see that there's no more love again. But it's like all these stars, when they get married, it's like the women in their life, they're just waiting for
opportunity
to just strike and come up with all kind of excuses. It's not this sport where even they do in entertainment, they go through all this. So it's so unfortunate. And I don't know whether all these demands, I don't know how it's going to go. Because they are not small demands. Because the way the whole thing is said, it's as if the woman just sat somewhere, was waiting for the time to strike. So it's so unfortunate, and let's just hope that at the end of the day they're able to settle it, because just like what Kayode said, we had this issue with
The court has already settled it already.
So, and Emmanuel Ibue, for all this thing to be happening to football stars, so it's so unfortunate.
So you and I will have to look for a wife, a proper wife for Asamoah Gyan now. Okay, I'm sure the children are even, thank God that the court took the children into cognizance. So there are provisions for the children so that they won't suffer because the union, the relationship, so to say, because it wasn't a union, it's a relationship. It produced 3 children. And of course, Gifty herself got a mansion that was bought for her by Asamoah Gyan in her name. Now, let's go to stars in diaspora. Some African athletes are doing excellently well in their field, and we'll be looking at them in the next section. Please stay with us. Yeah, welcome back. It's still Sport Africa, and of course, Kayode Ogundare and James Agberibi, they're still here. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not, because what we have for you, you've not seen it before. Unparalleled content. Now, James, let's talk about Siya Kolisi, of course, the South African captain, rugby captain them to back-to-back World Cup in rugby. Someone told me that means South Africa has won a senior World Cup even before Nigeria did, of course, as Nigerians. But this is excellent. A black man doing excellently well for his club, because last week, of course, the winning team, of course, the squad, they came into the country, and you saw the huge crowd that welcomed them to the stadium. So the South Africans have the bragging right, even though they've not won the World Cup, but they'll tell you that they've won the Rugby World Cup 4 times now. They are the only country in the world that has won the Rugby World Cup, and you have a black man leading the team. That is excellent, James.
Yeah, very excellent one. I think they even declared a public holiday for in the country after the victory. So when it comes to rugby, South Africa, they are one of the superpowers. We've dealt with a lot of top teams in the past, so it's not a surprise. I don't know why people are so surprised about it, because I know them to be a very strong team when it comes to rugby. The likes of England, the likes of Australia, they've taken them out in the past. So kudos to them, and I don't know. I hope one day Nigeria too will delve into rugby. But I think Nigeria, they took part in the Olympic qualifiers, for Paris 2024, and they got hammered. I don't know. I think 11-0 against South Africa. Even before the game, we all knew that at the end of the day, they even tried that they got to that stage. But I mean, playing against South Africa, I don't know if that's going to be a bridge too far. But I think it was a learning curve for Nigeria. They play against a team like South Africa. And the funniest part, while they were playing the World Cup qualifier, they said another team that was playing the Olympic qualifier.
Wow.
When it comes to the rugby, I mean, they are like the Brazil. They're one of the, what I call them, the
Brazil of rugby in Africa.
Even in the world, if I'm not mistaken.
Right now.
So
back-to-back World Cup title.
So it's not a shock. So congratulations to them. Like I said, I hope one day Nigeria too will delve into it, and let's see where we take us to.
Okay, so Siya Kolisi, congratulations to you. Kayode, let's talk about Francis Ngannou. Of course, a former UFC fighter, Dan Hardy, has said that the way Francis Ngannou dealt with Tyson Fury, if it were Anthony Joshua wouldn't get up. You saw how Ngannou knocked down Tyson Fury to his amazement, because you saw that expression on his face, like, so you could actually knock me down. Someone who is not a professional boxer. But Hardy is saying that if it were Anthony Joshua, that would have been his end. But of course, this particular session is dedicated to Francis Ngannou doing well from UFC to boxing, though not professionally, but of course we have to talk about him.
Well, I've read many commentaries about that fight. I believe that, a lot of people felt the fight could have gone the other way, but then there are a whole lot of factors you have to also put into the optics of the match itself. It was a game where Francis Ngannou was supposed to lie down and get beaten. But obviously, he did not read the script. He came out fighting, and he showed the world what he's capable of doing. That fight, what I see is there's going to be a rematch. I foresee a rematch, and it will bring more money. I just want Ngannou to soak it up, get his fat payday, and whatever happens in the next match, because I can assure you that Tyson is going to come out to put all doubts to rest about this fight. I will still put my money on Tyson any day to beat him.
Okay, all right. So,
I'll put my money on Tyson.
Okay, so Siya Kolisi and Francis Ngannou, they are our stars in diaspora this week. Let's quickly go on this break. When we return, we'll talk about the big match that we've told you about. I know in your country you're looking forward to a major football league game this weekend, but we need to tell you about Simba and Young Africans, why this fixture is special. We'll be back to talk about it. Please stay with us. Okay, so this is the last segment on Sport Africa today, and it's a fixture in the Tanzanian Premier League between Simba and Young Africans. Of course, these two names, they are popular on the continent when it comes to continental football. But James, of course, let's talk about this game. Simba will be hosting Young Africans.
Yeah.
Now, who are you tipping to take the day? It's close between these two Tanzania football giants, but who are you tipping to take the day?
For me, it's a tough call because when it comes to these two teams, you think it's Real Madrid or Barcelona. Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus, Inter Milan. You think, they are our own El Clasico in Africa. I think a lot of people are sleeping on these two teams, especially the Tanzanian league. They are doing great things.
And the league is actually getting prominence in Africa.
We are seeing it on the continent. Young African, they were the ones
who knocked the Rivers United last year in the CAF Confederations Cup. Yeah.
Semi-final, which means something is brewing there, So for these two teams, it's going to be a tough call because the last 5 games they both won. Then the remaining 3 was draw. And but one thing that I feel that at the edge is Simba because they've not lost for like over 10 games now. But for Young Africans, they've lost after the particular game they lost, they now won their last 3 games. Which means the two teams are going into the game with good record, but you want to go on the way of Simba, but this is the El Clasico. I know when. So
you are tipping Simba.
For me, I think it's a tough call. You might go either way.
Okay.
To the game on good form.
Okay.
So that.
Let me take Kayode. I'm sure Kayode would not be sitting on the fence like James. Kayode, the head-to-head between these two teams, you have Simba has won 4, then draw 10. Then Young Africans, they've had 3 wins and 10 draws as well. And if you look at the goals, Simba have scored 12 goals. Young Africans have scored 10. Then yellow cards 21. Then that is for Simba. Then, of course, if you look at it, yellow card for Young Africa 19. It's always a feisty encounter when these two teams come to play. But I hope you will not be sitting on the fence like James.
Femi, this game can be likened to the El Clasico in Spain. It can be likened to Al Ahly, Zamalek. It can be likened to Ashanti Kotoko and it can be likened to all of the traditional derbies in Nigeria. It can be likened to Wydad Athletic and FAR Rabat of Morocco. It can be likened to the Soweto derby because it's a very, very big match, Femi. And one thing we are not taking into cognizance is the fact that Tanzania is gradually becoming the secret, the open secret or the next destination of football in Africa because of the kind of money that is being put into the game there. For example, the winner of the league is going to get as much as 53.8 billion shillings. Change that to Nigerian or naira or the dollar, you get whatever. So this game is finely poised. They both have the same number of points. But anybody who wins now would have an early match on their opponents. So I am tipping Simba because they are playing at home, Femi. I think they have a chance of taking this because if they do, they would have established a 3-point gap between them and Young Africans. But Femi, I need everybody to watch this game because you look at the crowd, and I pray there's no violence because this fixture has an history of crowd violence. For me, I hope we do not see that in this game. But I can assure you that it's going to be a very, very feisty game between these two historic teams.
Okay, of course, Young Africans are topping the table on the same point with Simba. So, like I already said, if Simba wins, they're going to be opening a 3-point lead. Yeah, they are playing at home, so they will be opening a 3-point lead. James, thank you for coming through on the show today.
Thank you, Femi.
And I like your T-shirt.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, I love it.
Kayode Ogundare, thank you for joining us. You are one of the stars in the diaspora. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
To our viewers around the world, thank you for sticking with Sport Africa. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Please tell someone to tell someone. You can see that the program has taken a new dimension so that we can give you unparalleled content. And remember, the 2023 AFCON is around the corner, and the 2026 World Cup qualifier. So it's early to bed, early to rise for some countries. So we'll be taking you into all the preparation of all the countries. So that is where, wherever you are, you need to subscribe so that we can bring you into the activities of the countries near you, even your country, whether you are in diaspora or in Africa. We appreciate you so much. Our producer, thank you always for doing this for us. Until we'll see you next week, I remain Asamoah Gyan. Bye for now.